So, like GPAC likes, c4.
Yay.
c5, knight f3, knight f6. This is actually going to transpose. So, knight f3, knight f6, knight c3, d5, c takes d5, knight takes d5, e3, e6, d4, c takes d4, e takes d4. So, do either of you guys know what this actually transposed directly into? This is a little trick. Or does anyone in chat know what this directly transposed into?
Queen's Gambit something?
No.
No?
Nope.
IQP. That's what I say.
It is IQP, correct. But do you know what opening this is? Eno, do you have any idea?
Not really.
Okay, it's actually a Caro-Kann Panna-Botvinnik by direct
Oh, I knew
transposition. But it's weird though, because he played c4 and he never played e4. But yeah, this actually turned into an exact Caro-Kann Panna-Botvinnik. Okay, so white has this isolated queen pawn, but in return, he has an outpost on e5 and he has open lines on the c file and on the e file. So just gotta play some more natural moves. So after c takes d4, e takes d4, black played bishop e7, bishop d3, castle, castle. Black plays knight to c6, white plays rook e1. So this is all just standard developing moves. Okay, so now as black, what do you guys like here?
One moment, I'm catching up here.
Okay, let me know if you need a repeat or anything.
I kind of want to play knight c b4.
Knight c b4. Okay, and if I go bishop b1.
Maybe b6. I don't know. Develop the light squared bishop.
Wait, I'm sorry. You're gonna go where?
b6.
Oh, to go bishop e7, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but I mean, I'm gonna play a3 anyway, right? And then,
Yeah.
I mean, you're kind of wasting a move, right? Sort
I
of.
guess.
Because I mean, I actually want my queen in front of my bishop anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to try to, checkmate you. So yeah, if you play a move like knight c b4, you're kind of giving me a free move. You have to be careful about that type of thing.
So do you actually want your bishop on b1? I guess because you want to play queen d3 or c2. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, because I mean, if white had like a couple of free moves, he wants to play a3, bishop c2, and queen d3. So, by playing knight c b4, you kind of allow that.
So I guess b6 right away.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, b6 right away is an option, but Eno, do you have an idea?
No. So I'm just
okay.
gonna spectate for a minute and.
All right. So the idea is that black doesn't want to develop his bishop on c8, but he also wants to maybe put pressure on d4. So there's actually a couple ways he can put more pressure on d4. One is to play bishop f6, and one is to play knight f6. So those are actually the two most common moves in this position. GPAC, just so you know, knight c b4 is the third most common move, but white does have a good score against it. So in this game, black chose knight f6, but bishop f6 is slightly more common. Okay.
And is b6 never played or something?
No, well, we're going to get to that in a second. Okay, so now white plays a3. So the idea of a3 is to keep pieces out of b4, particularly a knight on b4, because, again, he kind of wants to play bishop c2 and queen d3. So now we're getting to GPAC's move. So now black's kind of put his pieces where they all want to be. Another reason why he played knight d5 or knight f6, by the way, is that in some variations, white can just like take on d5 and then like if you have to take with a pawn, you kind of nullify the fact that this pawn on d4 is isolated. So in some lines, it's useful to have the knight on f6 just so that exchange, is not capable of occurring. But okay, so anyway, knight f6, a3, and then black plays b6. Okay. So white kind of continues with his plan because, again, white's not really sure where he wants to put his bishop on c1. He could, in some lines play bishop f4, some lines play bishop g5. It depends. But a move he does want to make is bishop c2. The idea simply being that he wants to play queen d3 and establish a battery on that diagonal, so to keep that knight rooted on f6. So bishop c2 is played. And now, okay, what should black play here after bishop c2?
Bishop a6.
Okay.
It's an idea.
Yeah. What do you think?
Um. Bishop. Yeah, bishop. Wait. I don't know if I have the live position here.
Okay, well look at the
So-
stream if you want, and
Okay.
see if it matches up. Because it should be at the current position now, even with the delay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, my light square bishop was at the wrong place. So yeah, bishop a6 looks good.
Okay, and the idea of bishop a6 is what?
Getting your bishop, you're developing your bishop. You're one step closer to completing development, and you're also controlling this a6 f1 diagonal.
Okay, but why not bishop b7?
It seems less active.
Okay.
Should I?
Yeah,
comment
GPAC,
on
if you wanna.
I just like you prevent queen d3, for instance.
Yeah, so there's a specific reason. I mean, you're right that on a6 it looks better in a way, but I mean, if you think about it, like if this knight ever moves, I mean, this bishop on b7 would look good, but there is a specific reason, and the fact is that when you play bishop a6, yeah, you are stopping queen d3.
Okay.
And the bishop, is fairly well placed on a6 anyway. But okay, black in this game chose bishop b7 because he thought it looked natural. And so white plays queen d3. So he's not really threatening anything yet, but there's always tricks where he can try to deflect the knight. Okay, so now the question is, what should black play here? And this question has been answered incorrectly by countless grandmasters, even though this game has played in a while. I mean, this game was played a while ago. So what should black play here?
I mean,
Okay,
my knee. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead,
I was gonna say my knee-jerk reaction is knight f3, or sorry, knight f6, but
Well, the knight's on f6 already, don't forget. Make sure you have the position correct.
okay.
Because that was on move 10. Move 10, black played
yeah.
knight f6.
Okay.
GPAC?
I just wanted to continue with development. I
Mhm.
don't think h7 is that big of a deal right
Mhm.
now. So like rook a c8 maybe.
Right, so rook c8. So rook c8 looks the most logical because you're developing you develop your bishop from c8 to b7, and so now you're clearing the c8 square for the rook, and you're taking this open c file. You're getting ready to maybe play like queen d7, queen c7, and then get your rook to d8, something like that.
That's wrong.
But yeah, it loses by force. So
Okay. All right.
so do you wanna venture a guess as to what the right move is? But again, there's been at least 100 grandmasters who have made this mistake. So
Wow.
don't feel bad, GPAC.
So knight b6 is knight b5 is the refutation? No, I don't know. Rook a
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. First, try to figure out what black should do. So the right move here is actually that this matters. This battery. So the right move here is actually g6. Looks odd.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
But it's necessary. Okay, so now the point is why rook c8 is not the right move. So what's the refutation?
Bishop g5.
Okay, well on
So-
bishop g5 I can go g6 then, right?
Yeah, it's kind of slow.
Yeah.
Is it one of those like queen sack rook lifts things?
I mean,
Is
that seems
unstoppable?
that seems a bit much.
Bit much.
A bit
alright.
much.
Yeah.
Okay, so the thing is, when you have an isolated pawn, there's a question you always have to ask yourself. Do you know what that question is?
Can I push d5?
Right. So now you have to figure out, can you push d5? It requires some
I
tactical
see.
vision, but what happens? What's the idea?
Well, I mean, you
So
can't
the
be
knight can't move.
Right, the knight on f6 can't move. Right, good.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are black's options?
taking her the pawn.
Okay, with
E pawn.
Okay, and then what?
And then knight
And
takes
then-
knight. Or queen takes. No, not queen takes. That's stupid.
I'm sorry.
Ignore that comment.
Okay.
I'm looking at ideas on e7, but
huh.
it seems like the knight on c6 is defending nicely so far.
Uh huh.
Do you-
You're
do you
right.
You sack it? Is that the
I mean,
exchange?
you tell me what to do. I don't know.
Is that the exchange?
Oh,
Knight
shoot.
takes, push the pawn. Keep pushing the pawn.
Sorry.
Something like that.
Is knight e5 on or no?
Okay, so d5, right? D6. Okay, now what?
Yeah. Is knight e5 on or?
Okay, well, knight e5 I can just take, right? And then when you take, I can just play g6, and then I'm safe.
I
So you need something
It's
a little
too
bit more
slow.
forcing. Yeah, you need something a little bit more forcing.
If knight takes d5.
If you play knight takes d5, I can play queen takes, and then I'm just off the piece, right?
Yeah, that was stupid.
It's okay. That's why we're here. So now, what was the idea you guys had originally?
to somehow move the knight on f6. Or,
Right. But what
or
was
take advantage of the
what was the
fact
move
that-
you guys suggested?
G5. Bishop G5.
Okay, and now why does it work now whereas before it didn't?
Because there's no d5 square.
Well, not really.
No.
What changed between when you played d5 and before?
Oh, now you can take with the knight on c3 and put even more pressure on e7 and f6. Is that?
Well, don't forget d5 is defended twice. So okay, bishop g5. What must black play here?
G6.
Right. Is there any other move that black has? Because I'm threatening just to take on f6 and take on h7 mate, right?
Yeah.
So there's no other
right.
move, right?
Right.
Okay, now what?
So g6.
Mm-hmm.
Rook takes e7.
Okay, does that work?
Yes.
Okay, why? What if knight takes
And then you just take the free piece.
on f6?
Yeah.
And what if queen takes?
You have d5.
Mm-hmm. Very good. So if rook takes e7, queen takes e7, knight takes d5, super fork, winning everything. And if
Yeah.
rook takes e7, knight takes e7, bishop takes f6, and again you have two pieces for the rook, but not only that, but black's dark squares are pretty much dead, and you're just gonna end up mating. So
I see.
d5 he can't take. So the question is, what happens if knight a5? What happens if knight a5?
So this is knight a5 after
After-
bishop.
No, just after d5 on move 14, because
Okay.
we just established that you can't take. So.
Okay, knight a5.
Mm-hmm. So now what?
I mean, I think you just take the pawn. You're winning. Maybe.
Careful. I mean, you might be, but it's trickier than you think. Because I can take on f3, and then your pawns kind of suck, right?
Yeah. Bishop g5 again.
Mm-hmm, good. Okay, so what am I threatening?
Taking the knight again.
Yeah, so what's forced?
G6.
Mm-hmm. And now what?
I wanted to push d6, but it doesn't work right now.
Are you sure?
Maybe.
So what happens if d6?
D6,
Mhm.
queen takes,
Queen takes, okay,
Bishop.
then what's being overworked?
knight e4. No, it doesn't work.
Well, look what you're attacking. Look what's being defended.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I can take
yeah.
a check. Maybe.
No, just look at what's being attacked and look what's being...
Oh. Sorry.
d6.
So
If bishop takes,
d6,
right?
d6,
Then you
bishop
just take
takes.
the knight.
Then you just take the
Yeah.
knight and you take the bishop, right?
Yeah. But if queen takes.
Right, but if queen takes, then again you just take the queen and you take the knight. You're up a piece, right?
Yeah.
So the bishop's overworked. Okay, but actually d6. Okay, it's very good, and you know it might very well be the best move, but it's a little complicated because after d6, there's a tricky line where actually you can take, and okay, I mean you are still winning. So that line, by the way, was d6, bishop takes d6, bishop takes f6, queen takes
Okay.
f6, queen takes d6, bishop takes f3, g takes f3, queen takes f3. So that was that line. And okay, so black has
Okay.
two pawns for the piece, and white's king's exposed. Okay, white's still winning because white can play like bishop e4 and kind of defend, and the knight on a5 is misplaced, and his rooks will get good. But another way to play it is like GPAC originally said, on move 16 instead of d6, you can actually play d takes e6 and just win a pawn. And the idea is you play queen takes d3, bishop takes d3, bishop takes f3, g takes f3, knight c4, bishop takes c4, rook takes c4, and simply rook a d1. And the point is that, you know, eventually the e pawn, the f pawn will get traded, but your rooks are quite strong. And even though you have double pawns on the f file, you can play king g2, defend them pretty easily. And the fact that your rooks are more active should lead to good things for white. And white's just up a pawn here. So this is kind of a simpler way to play it, but you know, you don't win as much material in a way as you do in the other variation. So those are both reasons why d5 is very strong on move 14. So yeah, but white actually missed this opportunity in the game. So he played instead what you guys wanted to play originally, bishop g5. Again, threatening take knight and threatening mate. So again, black has to play g6. Okay, so what looks like a natural move for white here?
D5, or is that too?
Well, now it doesn't quite work, right?
Okay.
Because everything's just kind of defended too much.
Knight e5.
Ah.
Not natural.
Knight e5, yeah, it is. But what's wrong with it?
D protects d4.
Mm-hmm. So what would black play?
He would take on d4. I
With what though? I mean, you're right, but
the queen.
you can't take with the queen. Knight takes e6 wins
Oh,
a
yeah.
piece, or two pieces maybe. Oh, a piece.
I would guess with the knight then, right?
Yeah. So if knight e5, knight takes d4, and you just kind of lose a pawn. Yeah. Don't really get too much compensation. Obviously, you can't play queen takes d4 though, because knight takes c6, queen takes c3, knight takes c7,
Check.
hopscotch,
Oh,
etc.,
yeah,
etc.,
yeah.
etc. Okay, so yeah, not knight e5, but what's even like more natural than knight e5?
Rook a c1 or d1.
Yeah. So he played rook a d1 just to defend this pawn again, and now maybe d5 is looming. Okay. So now is the critical point in the game. So in general, is black trying to trade pieces here or trying to keep pieces on the board?
Trade.
Yeah, I'd say trade as well.
And why is that?
He has less space.
True, but also what's the like kind of salient point in the position? That
White has the isolated pawn,
right, exactly. So yeah, in positions with an isolated pawn in general, the side that's playing against it wants to trade pieces because it makes it easier to attack that pawn the fewer pieces that are on the board. And it becomes more of a weakness. Because now, you know, with all these pieces on the board, you know, like GPAC said, 95 is, you know, potentially an issue, and, you know, D5 is always kind of lurking with, you know, all these threats, but, you know, with limited material on the board, all these things kind of disappear. So with that in mind, and with white's, you know, potential idea to play d5, what should black maybe play?
Knight d5.
Yeah, knight d5. Exactly. So you blockade the d pawn, and you also prepare to exchange some pieces if white, you know, chooses. So black played knight d5. Okay, so white, you know, for his part, wants to decline the exchange, so he plays bishop h6, rook e8. Okay, and now how can white improve another one of his pieces in this position? After bishop h6, rook e8.
Bishop a4.
Very good. Yeah, so now the bishop is no longer needed on this diagonal because, okay, I mean, black played g6. So we kind of incurred a weakness on the dark squares, and so now we have to reposition that bishop. So bishop a4 is very good. Okay, so now is the real key. What must black play here?
Hmm.
This is tricky because, it seems like that bishop is rather annoying because it's creating a pin on the knight on c6.
Is a6 b5 too slow?
Right, well that's the thing, is it? Is it?
That was the first thing I looked at. I wasn't sure though. It does look. It seems slow, but I don't know if it actually is.
Right. So what's white intending to do here? Maybe.
Maybe I don't know.
Play knight e5, maybe.
Maybe. But
I was gonna say like knight e5 with a combination of rook to like c1 or something and try to put pressure on the knight, but it seems slow.
Yeah, I mean 95 right away. I could probably just take it, right, and then just play bishop c6. So
Yeah. All right.
But is there something else maybe? So you kind of have to envision what's going to happen in a few moves. Like ideally, what do we want to do with this pawn? I mean, ideally, the pawn on d4.
Get rid of it. Trade it off.
Right. So how do we do that?
Take on. I wouldn't take on d5. You want to trade out the knight on d5, and then.
Well, I mean, you'd have to be able to play d5, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but it seems very unlikely that you can play d5 because there's a knight there. So the question is, how do you get that knight off that square?
You either take it or deflect it somehow.
Right. So you're probably not going to be able to deflect it since, it doesn't really have a need to move. I mean, there's no way you're going to be able to make it move. But yeah, taking it is the way. So the problem is that after a6, which is what was played, white can play knight takes d5, and this is actually strong. So I'll get to that in a second, but black should try to get what piece into the game?
His dark square bishop.
Yeah, exactly. Very good.
Bishop f6.
Yeah, bishop f6 is actually okay, but I mean, yeah, bishop f6 is probably fine, but probably bishop f8 is also good too, just to try to eliminate the bishop on h6 from the game.
Yeah.
And then like a bishop g5 can go bishop e7 or something. But also bishop f8 is important because it opens the e file or opens the rook's protection on the e file because we'll see what that matters in a second. But okay, so after bishop a4, black played a6, and now knight takes d5. Okay, so now how should black recapture?
With the queen.
Okay, and why?
Because otherwise your light square bishop is crappy.
True. And what about the pawn on d4?
Yeah, I didn't. Well, from black's perspective, I didn't like the fact that it kind of gave yourself an isolated pawn.
Right. So, for positional reasons, queen takes d5 makes a lot of sense. Unfortunately, queen takes d5 is a mistake because that's what black played. So he has to actually go e takes d5. And now, the point is that, okay, well, you've created yourself an isolated pawn, but at least the pawn on d4 is not going anywhere. You have a potential to play bishop f6 soon. You can unpin your rook. And white has a slight plus because he has a bit more space and black has a little bit more weakness, but it probably should be holdable. Okay, but black played queen takes d5. Okay, so now how does white take advantage of this move?
I was gonna sack the bishop will take the knight and then play a rook e5, but I don't think that's good.
No, you can't. You can't be giving up that bishop. That bishop's the key to your position.
I mean, bishop b3. I don't know.
Right. So bishop e3 runs into queen h5.
Yeah.
But you have a kind of in between move. You do want to play bishop e3 because you want to support the advance of d5, but you need to make one move first before you do that.
Well, if you're stopping if you're stopping queen h5, I guess knight e5 is the move.
Okay, right, but knight e5, don't forget, there's a mate lurking on g2, so I can just take on e5, and then you can't take back because, yeah, you're going to be hit on g2. Yeah, so you got to be careful.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, knight e5 is actually a good move if not for that, so. But
if not for losing.
if not for mate 1, it'll be fine, so. Okay, so which piece of yours is actually kind of misplaced at the moment?
The dark square bishop?
Well, it's actually okay. I mean, I guess you could argue that it is a little bit, but there's actually a piece of yours that could use greener pastures.
I mean, I didn't like the light square bishop, but you said that there's another move we could play first.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, so you want to kind of prepare bishop b3.
Yeah.
It's not rook e5, is it?
No.
Okay. It's the same mate type of.
I mean, I don't want to move the knight.
Right. Yeah. The knight's good word is it helps support d4. It's supporting g5 and e5.
I mean, like rook e2.
Okay, but I mean your rook is already fine on the e file, right?
It's fine on the d file too, right?
Yeah, I agree.
So king f1.
There's something else you're missing.
Queen e4.
Okay, well you don't want to trade queens, right? Because you have an isolated pawn still. Nope.
Oh. Okay.
Remember? Black wants to trade when combating the isolated pawn. So.
Okay.
How do we put our queen on a more active square?
We already went through all the pieces of the queen.
Yeah.
I guess queen. Where does it go?
You tell me.
Queen d2?
No.
Queen b1, it seems bad.
No. Simple queen e3. Now black can resign pretty much because we're simply going to go queen f4 and knight g5, and it's really hard to stop queen takes f7. And if you take on g5, I just take on g5 and get my dark square penetration, bishop f6, queen h6, and I mate. So simple queen sidestep. But also the reason why this is so good is because you open up your rook to attack d5 as being the primary attacker. You open up your queen and rook having a battery on the e file, and you defend your bishop on h6, so queen h5 doesn't come with tempo. So after bishop f6, what does white play now?
Bishop b3.
Bishop b3. Very good. Yeah. So now black would probably has to go queen d7 and kind of just grovel. But he played queen h5 thinking it was a better square, and now white to move and win.
White to move and win.
Yeah. Now do you see why e3 is such a good square?
Because you have f4 now. I don't know.
No.
I mean, because you're protecting the bishop, but
yeah. Well, you're still protecting bishop. You're protecting both bishops actually, but you also have something else. Right?
Oh, d5.
Yeah, d5 just wins because you can't take because it's mate, and you can't move your knight because it's mate. So it's pretty much just mate. So yeah, you pretty much lose a piece here. Is the problem. Black played knight to d8, trying to hold everything together.
Ooh,
Trying to hold everything together.
That's a rough move there.
Yeah. And now, okay, what's the finishing blow? White actually missed the finishing blow in the game, and he actually played like the 5th strongest move. Let's see if you guys can find it. I'll give you guys a minute. It's not easy, but something super strong here, like super strong.
I mean, first glance, I'm just thinking d6, but
right, d6 starting d7, yeah. Okay. Think about what possible replies there are to that though.
Oh. Mm.
Mm-mm.
I see.
Sometimes the threat is stronger than the execution.
I'm like trying I'm trying to trap the queen somehow. It's probably the wrong route.
Yeah, it's not quite trappable, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, notice that black's not really threatening anything, right? Like,
Mhm.
you know, he still can't take on d5 because, I mean, now his rooks are even, you know, cut off from each other. So there's no way he can take on d5. You're still defending all your pieces.
I think taking an e6 is taking an f3 so bad? Taking an e6 seems fine to me.
Yeah. I mean, you can't take on e6. But what if he just takes on e6 with his knight?
Then you take the knight with check.
Boy, why is it check?
Well, wait, no, there's a bishop, there's a pawn.
There's a pawn on
What,
f7.
what about queen b6?
Queen takes b6, yeah. So you could do that, actually. But, I mean, it seems like you should get more from this position than queen takes b6, right? Because don't forget, your bishop on h6 is still hanging. So you can't really do that just yet. But, I mean,
Okay.
but in any case, like, even if it wasn't hanging,
Okay.
you probably should get more than a pawn from this position.
What about
Okay.
the same idea as before?
Which is...
Playing the dark squares?
Okay.
You trade off the
So,
bishop.
so what would you do?
like bishop g5 takes knight takes queen f4 and then same idea, or not really. I mean,
No, you're a genius. You're right. But why are you right?
And then you can rook left maybe.
Okay, so bishop g5 is, yeah, the right move. This just wins instantly. So it's a little tricky, but see if we can try to figure out why. Okay, so the point
So
is...
Takes
yeah, so we'll look at takes first. So take you take with...
knight.
Yeah, good. Okay, what are you threatening?
D takes
Um,
e6.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So say I go... I don't even know how to remotely defend that, but... okay, say I go rook c7 or something. Now what?
Now queen f4.
You actually have something even stronger.
Oh, but you were hitting the rook though. I guess maybe.
Yeah, you are, but just something... Because the rook now defends laterally is the thing. I mean,
Yeah.
and the knight's defending... Don't forget your knight on d is defending f7 too. But there's something even stronger.
D takes e5 or e6.
Yeah, that's good, but there's something even stronger.
Hmm.
Look at the positioning of the rook on e8, the king on g8, and the queen on h5.
Oh, knight move.
Uh-huh. So where?
Knight e4.
Yeah, now you're getting this family fork going on. So you have to play something
Oh.
queen e5, and now simply queen takes b6. And now the threat is d6 plus, you know, some knight hop, knight d6 plus, you know, pawn takes pawn is always lurking. I mean, this is just hopeless. So this is dead. So you can't really take, because this knight e4 is really strong, this knight hop. So black has to try something like bishop e7. But the problem with bishop e7 is you can just take on e7, and then play d6. And now the rook can't go back to e8 because of the fork, d7, and if rook d7, then what is it, g-pack? I'm sure you can see this one.
Oh wow, you have a lot of faith on me.
You don't see this one. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
95, just winning exchange. And not to mention you're keeping this pawn on d6. So
No.
yeah, after bishop takes e7, rook takes e7, d6, rook d7, 95 just wins. So yeah, all that's just instantly winning. But white did play d6, which is actually a mistake. I mean, he's still much better, but he gives black an opportunity to kind of come back. So black plays rook c5, which is correct, you know, getting out of this fork and controlling the fifth rank. So white pushes the pawn d7, so now the rook is forced to go to e7. If rook f8, you just win the exchange, so rook e7 forced. And now what to do here for white? So it seems like we're in great shape because our isolated pawn on d4 suddenly became a monster on d7. But for now, it seems like black is kind of holding everything together. Even though his pieces are kind of odd, the knight on d is odd, queen on h5 is odd, rook on e7 is kind of weird. But how do we take advantage?
Rook d6. That looks weird.
Rook d6, yeah. So rook d6 threatening rook takes b6 is actually a good move, but you actually have something stronger. But it is a good move. Like, don't be fixated so much on that b6 pawn, because like you have more pertinent threats. So again, ask yourself what you can improve the position of.
The bishop.
Which bishop?
The light square bishop. Maybe.
How can you improve the position of that?
I don't know. I guess dark square bishop then.
Well, 50-50. Good job. All right. So where can you move that?
I don't think g5 works here either. Maybe.
No, 3 defense, 2 attacks, right?
Yeah.
3 beats 2.
f4
And where's it going from f4?
to d6.
Yeah. And how can I stop it?
He can't.
Right. Okay. So yeah, bishop f4 is actually really good, but there's actually something even better.
Is it like bishop f? No, it's not bishop f1.
Something even better. I'll give you a hint. It's the same square.
Queen f4.
Yeah. So queen f4 is actually even stronger. The point is, what are we threatening?
But what about rook f5?
Okay. All right.
the
I get
bishop.
there. But what are we threatening?
We're threatening the bishop.
Yes.
And we're also
What else are we threatening?
Queen b8. or
Very
something like
good.
that.
Very good. Queen b8. Excellent. So it's a fork, sort of. It's a fork
That's
of a
hard
fork
to see.
of a fork. Yeah. Queens move forward, so remember that. Write that down in your notebook. Queens move forwards.
Yeah.
Okay, so rook, what happens on rook f5?
Queen b8. I guess. No, that's kind of dangerous.
Yeah, rook f5, queen b8 just wins everything. Because don't forget, queen takes d8 is actually just mate.
Oh,
So yeah, mate's good. Last I checked. So you have no time for like taking an f3. So you have to go something like rook takes d7, rook takes d7, queen takes h6, rook takes d8.
Check.
I mean, it looks
Check.
look pretty bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Looks pretty bad. Okay, so rook f5 doesn't really work.
e4? No, bishop e4? e5, I mean? No, I think you have too many pieces. So.
Yeah, I do. You probably best try is you have to play bishop takes f3. It's forced, and then I take on f6, threatening mate. You take on h6, and I take on e7, and this should be winning.
Wait, can you run that line again?
Bishop
takes f3?
Sure. So the line is... Yeah, so after queen f4, bishop takes f3.
Uh-huh.
Queen takes f6, threatening mate on g7. So you have to take on h6.
Right.
And then... actually, maybe I can't take on e7 yet. Oh no, I guess I can.
Seems safe.
Yeah, so I take on e7. And then I guess your trick is you can play like queen g5. And then I take on g5, you take on g5.
And then you play rook somewhere.
Yeah, exactly, like rook d3. Yeah. And this should be fine. And like you can take on g2, rook takes g2,
Check.
like king f1, you move your bishop somewhere, and I mean, the pawn on d7 is super strong, like, it should be worth at least a piece, and then I'll be up a full rook, so... yeah, so that's probably black's best. But black played bishop g7, just trying to save his bishop. And now white to move and win? For real now? Instant win?
For real.
Well, I mean, a position that like even a 1400 could win.
Yeah.
Oh, that puts a lot of pressure on me.
So you gotta find the move first.
I'll leave that
So-
to you now to check.
So yeah, white to move in and win everything. Like you win like a million pieces, approximately.
I mean, I would play...
mean,
Sorry.
Oh, go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Yeah.
No, go ahead, you got it.
I was thinking, like, you said he plays bishop g7.
Yeah, after queen f4, he played bishop g7. So he's attacking our bishop twice.
Right, I was thinking just take.
Yeah, so
Take
bishop
on
takes g7 is actually it's a move, but it's actually not that great. I mean, compared to what you do have in the game. I mean, you're completely
You also
winning,
have-
but
You also have queen d6, right?
yeah, but queen d6, don't forget, you're actually only threatening the rook on e7, and then I can play a move like maybe bishop f8 and just try to hold. So you have to be a little careful. So what's the crushing blow? But queen d6 is good. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's something even stronger. Just kind of like a kaboom. Black's entire position kind of just explodes.
Queen B8.
Yeah, very good, very good. So the similar motif, but it's actually super strong because, okay, Queen B8, so black played Queen takes H6. Okay, now what?
Check.
Yeah, Queen takes D8 check.
Check.
Okay, so now black has to block, Bishop F8, forced. Okay, now where's the crushing blow? Crushing blow.
Queen takes F8? No. Yeah.
Queen
No.
E8.
Queen takes F8 I can take with the queen, don't forget.
Then you queen.
Yeah, and then I take.
Queen.
Yeah, and then you're down
Okay.
down material.
Alright, alright.
Queen E8.
I'm sorry?
Queen E8.
Queen E8. Okay, we're not actually... Well, you have to be careful, actually, because I might develop some threats on my own. Like, I can take on F3, maybe? And then go, like, rook G5 and stuff. So you have to be careful.
Interesting.
But yeah, I mean, Queen takes F8 wins, too, yeah. I mean, you win a piece, it's
I
true.
mean, Queen B8 back again.
No, something even stronger. Just, like, instant crush.
Rook takes E6.
Yeah? Yeah? Yeah?
Right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so why does it work? Why does it work?
Because it worked in a game against me.
Yeah, this is very similar, actually.
Because if Rook takes, then Rook takes and the bishop kind of comes alive, maybe.
Okay, well yeah, if Rook takes... Okay, the point is actually that you can actually get this to become a queen without any interference. So you just take... So yeah, if Rook takes E6, Rook takes E6, Bishop takes E6, F takes E6, just Queen to F6. And there's no way to stop this without losing all your pieces.
Okay.
So yeah, so there's no way to stop Queen. And then if F takes E6 first, this is the kind of tricky one. What happens here? So if Rook takes E6, F takes E6. It's kind of absurd, but the way to do it is actually you play Queen takes B6. And now if Rook takes D7, you're actually not going to take the rook, you're actually going to take the mate. So you're going to play, after Rook takes E7, you play Queen takes E6,
Check.
Queen moves sideways, and then if King H8, Queen G8 is mate, and if King G7, Rook takes D7 is mate in
Check.
like 2.
Oh, nice.
So that's the key of that. So now you're threatening again D8 equals Queen. So after Queen takes B6, you have to go like Bishop takes F3, and then, you know, I play Bishop takes E6 check, you play
Check.
King G7, I play Queen takes C5, you play Rook takes E6, I make a Queen, or no, actually, I play Queen C3 check first, sorry,
Check.
and then I make a Queen. And so I have 2 queens, and you have 1 queen, and that's good for me. Or no, actually, I guess I just take on F3 first. And then, yeah, because now you can't really stop the queen anyway. Okay, so anyway, the whole point is... Oh, no.
Aww.
Well, it's okay. The rest of the game was not really too exciting, because, I mean... Because he didn't actually play Rook 66, he played Rook E3 instead, which also wins, but... The moral of the story is that always be careful when you're in a position with an isolated pawn that it can't push forward, because even when it doesn't look like it's possible, there are sometimes tactics underlying that make it possible. So in that position, it seems so innocuous, you know, the queen and the bishop battery. When you had your knight and f6, it didn't seem like it was a problem, but, you know, that move d5 kind of threw a wrench into the works, and all of a sudden caused issues. So, so yeah, so you guys have any questions about that one?
Can we go back to
Yeah, we can. Don't worry.
knight d8?
Yeah.
I forgot what the super strong move was.
Okay,
there.
hold on a second. I have to input this, so give me a second. So it's on move 20... Move 20 what? 20...
I don't know.
Oh. I thought you had the notation
I
next
should
to
have
you.
set it up. No.
Oh. Yeah, you should do it in actual game so you have the notation next to you. Okay. I'll get there. Hold on a second. Okay, so after 98... Almost there. Okay, 95. Bishop h6, rook e8. 4 A6. 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 4 Knight takes d5, queen takes d5. Okay, so that queen e3 was a really quiet move too that was super strong. Okay, bishop b3, queen h5, okay. d5, knight d8. Right. Okay, yeah, I'm there. So yeah, it was after move 21. So yeah, the super strong move was bishop g5.
Oh, okay, okay.
Just the idea is to remove dark square protection from black's king and makes the threat of d6 and d7 even stronger. So after bishop g5, like black pretty much has to take or play bishop e7.
Wait, so what happens after bishop g7?
Yeah, so after bishop g7, the point is I can just play queen takes b6. And now my bishop is defended. So it's like I gain the tempo. So I'm going to take on b6 now. And then just go like d6 and d7.
Maybe takes on b2.
I mean, sure he can.
Yeah. Alright.
I mean, I can even actually go bishop a4. And then go like bishop e7 and then like, you know. Yeah.
Couldn't you also just go d6 right away, or do you need to take b6 first?
After bishop g7, yeah. The problem is like whenever you go d6, you always have to worry about that bishop takes f3 being like a little worrisome. So, like if you play d6 right away, I mean, I guess you could just play like rook f8, and then d7 like rook a8. It looks kind of grotesque, but like you're just winning kind of like an exchange here after bishop e7. Whereas after queen takes b6, like you're winning probably a pawn and an exchange, maybe like 2 pawns in exchange even, because you always have the idea of like you always have this idea of taking on e6, which is actually like really strong in some variations. So by playing d6, the thing is you kind of remove that possibility. And so you want to try to just keep that possibility as long as possible, as long as you can. Because, I mean, like we always established, black can never really do anything. He can never take on d5 with either piece. And so, as long as that threat's always there, you can just try to make that d takes e6 as strong as possible. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah, but like I mean, it's really just different ways to skin a cat. Different ways of winning. So.
I gotcha. So black is pretty much just busted here.
Yeah, he is. But again, he didn't play bishop g5 in the game. But he was still busted anyway. I mean, because once the pawn got to d5, it was basically bad news for black. Even though it should have gotten there a few moves earlier. But it was the same idea, just, happened a little bit later. So yeah. Do you have any other questions?
So, what would you say the take-home message of this game is?
It's just that, like, when you have a very calm position, always be on the lookout for tactics, especially involving isolated pawns, kind of pushing forward. Because a lot of times in IQPs, you kind of have the square under control without actually blockading it firmly. And sometimes you underestimate that pawn push. And always in IQPs, if white's playing properly, or whoever has the IQP, they have active piece play, and so you always have to be careful that those active pieces, don't start unleashing due to that, due to the kind of dynamism that the pawn can bring. Because but the pieces by themselves have good outposts, but it's hard to actually generate more. Like if you go back to like move 10 or something, like around here. So I mean, all our pieces are kind of good, and black has some weaknesses. But if we're unable to get our pawn to d5, it's hard to see how we actually make use of the fact that our pieces have activity. Because I mean, black's kind of blockading us on the long diagonal, or on this b1 h7 diagonal, and he has a plan of just kind of putting his pieces on good squares and trading. So it's often easier to trade than it is to avoid trades. Unless you can somehow bring something else into position, kind of kindle the fire a bit. So the pawn on d4 was kind of used to do that. And as you see, through tactics, the pawn ended up on d7, and from there it's basically over. So yeah, just be on the lookout for that in your games, because I know sometimes people are kind of afraid to play with an isolated queen pawn, and then sometimes people are, think that an isolated pawn is a disadvantage, so they try to give their opponents that. But you always have to be careful. So. Yeah.
All right. So are you gonna reveal who the mysterious Grandmaster is?
It was Karpov. Black was Karpov.
Okay.
I mean, he's so famous for playing Caro-Kans that you would think he would know what to do in a Caro-Kan, but he played Rook C8, which is actually a big mistake. But even Grandmasters, this year played Rook C8 in this position because they didn't know this game, even though it's like a relatively famous game. Yeah, so you'd be surprised like how little. Let me actually look in the database real quick just to give you an indication of people who played Rook C8. Hold on one second. Yeah, so it was actually it's been played. Let me go back here. Yeah, it's been played 39 times actually. Nisipianu played it in 2000. Oh no, actually, sorry. Hold on, let me look at this right thing. Okay, yeah. So let me see who's the strongest player to play it. Okay, well it's Karpov obviously, but then Zubov, he's a Grandmaster 2492 in 2003 played this. 2438 Garcia Roman Velikovic 2368. Let me see. Kempora 2485. Paunovic 2320. So yeah, I mean, strong players fall into this, even though they should know better. Oh, and Jorge Maguen Badals in 1983. I guess he was a kid then, but he fell into this too. So even Grandmasters aren't safe from kind of being lulled into a false sense of security because they think that everything just seems normal.
Then they get hit with a whoops moment.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Or what just happened?
Yeah, and the funny part is actually, no, I guess in a couple of games actually the opponent didn't actually even play d5. They played bishop g5, which is actually what's so Smyslov was his opponent, by the way. And they still play bishop g5 like Smyslov played. So even some people didn't know to take advantage of it, but most people did. I think like 34 of the 39 knew to play g5, so it's funny.
And what's the right move again? Is it
as
opposed to
Rook C8? Yeah, so you have to play g6 first.
G6.
Yeah. But what actually happened is it actually transposed, by the way, with the actual game. So after Rook C8, bishop g5, g6. So this is what was supposed to happen. So it should have gone g6, bishop g5, then Rook c8. And okay, white probably has a slight plus because his pieces are more active, but black is solid. But then the mistake was actually knight d5, or no, knight d5 was fine, but the mistake was playing a6 and allowing this knight takes d5 exchange, which didn't seem like much at the time, but but after e takes d5, he gets that position where they both have isolated pawns, and white's probably slightly better because his bishops are more active. Or when he takes with the queen, the real problem is that now d5 is not going to be stoppable because he's too late to blockade it. So
I see.
That was the idea.
So is playing bishop f6 just safer and just always leaving a piece on d5?
Yeah, it can be, but the problem is part of the reason you play knight f6 even to begin with is that you you kind of save a tempo so that when they play bishop c2 and queen d3, you don't have to play g6. And then you kind of wait for them to play bishop g5, and then you play g6, and then you kind of, save half a tempo that way. But, it's just kind of a different way to play the position. But, knight f6 has some motivation in that you're defending h7, and you're clearing the d5 square so that when your bishop activates on that diagonal, it has more scope. But like you guys mentioned, bishop a6 is actually probably more accurate to stop queen d3 for a move.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of kind of nuances led up to this thing. But
right.
But it was like a small mistake here, and then a6, which was kind of like a major mistake. And then after a6, you either get this position where the isolated pawns are facing each other, or you get this position where white kind of gets d5 in a very strong variation because white's rooks are very strong, and his bishops control all the key squares. So,
that's pretty crazy how how little things can just build up that way.
Yeah, exactly. And Karpov wasn't exactly weak at the time of this game. This was right before. This is actually when he lost the challengers to Spassky. But yeah, he learned from his mistake. So, alright guys, well, I won't keep you any longer. Thanks for being on, both of you, so much.
Yeah, it's
much appreciated. I definitely
I'll upload
really
this to YouTube, guys, so you guys can listen to yourselves in all your glory.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for being on.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
no problem.
Thanks again.
Bye.
Bye-bye.